Away from politics now, the presidency has raised concerns over the recent appointments of consultancy firms McKinsey and Bain to the B20's Project Management Office of the Energy Council. It coordinates the participation of business in the G20, which South Africa has just taken the presidency of. The Office of the President says while it has no control over the processes, it does not endorse the appointments. Bain has been banned from government contracts for 3 years over its alleged involvement in state capture. A commission found that Bain undermined SARS through consultancy work, allegedly to benefit former President Jacob Zuma's allies. The presidency says the appointments go against the promotion of good governance and public trust. Let's get some reaction now from the Black Business Council CEO, Kganki Matabane, who joins us via the virtual platform. Mr. Matabane, good evening to you and thank you for your time. Your reaction to these appointments?
Good afternoon and good afternoon to the viewers. We humbly welcome the developments and the statement by the presidency. It's very, very important that the tone of what happens in a country must be set by those who are running government. And this is a very, very, very important, positive development. And then it shows that the presidency takes corruption very, very, very seriously. And then as such, we humbly welcome this. And we hope those who have appointed those two companies will, being McKinsey and Bain, will do the right thing. And because we've emphasized that the state capture nearly collapsed our country.
Yeah.
And how we deal with corruption must be consistent. You can't say because this one is my friend, you treat them differently from the other one who may not be your friend. The consistency means whether it's your friend or no friend of yours. When we say as a country we are against corruption, we have to be consistent.
Yeah. Kganki, the BBC is part of the business structures in the country. Do you understand or did you get any reasoning for why, for example, a consultancy firm like Bain, which still is banned for 3 years, as I understand it, from engaging in any government work, why there would be a justification to add them to such an important project for the country?
Remember, we are not part of BUSA. There are two confederation business organizations in South Africa. It's ourselves and BUSA, and the appointment of Bain and the appointment of McKinsey were done by BUSA. So we're not part of BUSA, so we don't know why they did that. Hence, we've been condemning this and saying they can, on one side, try to lecture government on corporate governance, and then on the other side, they go and appoint a tainted company. Because indirectly what they are doing, they are funding corruption themselves. So we don't know the reason why we're also not involved in B20 as things stand, because BUSA have decided to appoint themselves as the sole organization, and we've raised this matter with BUSA, we've raised this matter with the presidency, we've raised this matter with the Minister Lamola, Minister Pakster as well, because we are of the view that anyone who claims to represent a country must do that through an endorsement of government. And we did ask government if they endorsed BUSA, and the government said no. So we said then they need to call BUSA and talk to them, because BUSA cannot represent South Africa without South Africa saying yes.
Yeah.
But back to McKinsey and Bain. We were hopeful, and then we will continue to raise this matter. We're hopeful that this ban by both public sector and private sector will also extend to other companies that were fingered. Remember SEP, remember KPMG. Those companies were fingered during the state capture, and there are others who then paid back the money or who paid the fine. And we are saying paying a fine is not enough. You need to pay the fine, hold the individuals who approved all these things accountable. And we know in any company, transactions are not approved by one person. So you can't hold one person accountable and leave the rest. And then you claim that you did hold people accountable. But also the company itself needs to be banned for a certain period, either it's 5 years or 10 years, so that they can learn. And also so that we need to create deterrent. Because the reason why corruption continues like this, people go and create corruption and commit corruption, and then they come back and pay because they've got deep pockets, and then life goes on as if nothing has happened. So you are sending a very, very wrong message to the others who are thinking of doing the same, to say, but if I've got money, I can buy myself out of corruption. And then that's what we are saying, no, that must never happen, and that must never be allowed to happen. No matter who, we need to deal with corruption without fear or favor.
All right. Very briefly, would you expect the people who are laying the groundwork for this G20 that is presided over by South Africa, I'm talking here the Finance Minister, Enoch Godongwana, Trevor Manuel, who has been appointed as the G20 Africa Expert Panel. He's going to be heading that up. Would you expect very strong language from them as well on these two appointments?
They've got no choice, because remember, the country is not run by those ministries, and the country is run by the president. And if a presidency issue a statement, it means they're representing the entire government. So we're expecting all government people, including the SOCs, because remember, Bain & Company is also used by Energy Council of South Africa, and the DTIC organization, like the IDC. The IDC is a member of the Energy Council. ESCOM is a member of Energy Council. So we're expecting those ministers to speak to their departments. We're expecting Minister Dao to speak to the IDC. We're expecting Minister Mantashe to speak to Central Energy Fund, and we're expecting Minister Hossein Suramokopa to speak to ESCOM to say, what are you doing with the Bain & Company? Because if ESCOM, IDC, Central Energy Fund are members of this Energy Council, and Energy Council is appointing Bain & Company, it means those SOCs are also appointing Bain & Company.
All right.
By extension. So they have to take a stand. We're expecting them to take a stand as soon as possible, so that we can send the correct message to everyone in the country and outside the country that South Africa is extremely, extremely serious about dealing with corruption.
Kganki Matabane is the CEO of the Black Business Council. Thank you very much for your time. When we return, COSATU's first Deputy President, Mike Kganki, joins me in studio to reflect on the SACP's Special National Congress, which wrapped up at the weekend.